There's only one preseason game to go, and training camp is wrapping up, and down the stretch they come. And we're going to talk about six winners from training camp and preseason so far, who's really helped themselves. Now, of course, you could just say Justin Jefferson. You could say Danielle Hunter, Zadarius Smith. You could say Harrison Smith. You could say Eric Kendricks. You could say Justin friggin' Jefferson. We already said that. You could say Adam Thielen. You could say Kirk Cousins. But we're talking about guys that had a certain level of expectation and rose up and did themselves some big-time favors. So let's hop on at number one. Yes, of course, T.Y. McGill, preseason superstar, and live large, big house, 5 cars. Absolutely. Where T.Y., he worked his way up from maybe make the practice squad to I think that he solidified himself as Harrison Phillips' backup nose tackle. I think he will certainly make the 53. It actually wouldn't shock me if they sat him in the final preseason game against the Broncos to make sure he's healthy for the season. But 9 pressures, including 7 against the Niners, completely terrorized the Brock Purdy and company. 3.5 sacks, 90.2 PFF grade. Rock star. Plus, you love to see it where it's one thing if a rookie comes in, maybe it's his one shot, but T.Y. McGill has had enough talent where he's bounced around the league. He's like 9 teams in 8 different seasons. It's something crazy like that. And now he may have finally found a home. He's a souped up version of Tom Johnson. Love to see it, man. Next up, player number 2 who's really helped himself, K.J. Osborne. Now, like we said, you could just name all the superstars. I don't think KJ was on that level yet, but he looked really, really good. And it wouldn't shock me if by the end of the season, he is considered wide receiver 2 on the Vikings. No disrespect to Adam Thielen, but that's just how good KJ Osborne has been. Respect to Keenan McCardle and company, where the receivers have been running free. And now, I don't think that we're talking about bad cornerback play. I'm just saying, like, the receivers have really stepped up their game. They're catching everything in sight. And KJ has been that guy. He's had big time splash plays in training camp. He's played sparingly in preseason, which is fine. But I'm putting it on the table right now. KJ will have 1,000 yards receiving in 2022. Woo! Love it, man. Plus, the thing about KJ, came in 5th round pick out of the U. That's just the U being the U, baby. Really struggled his rookie season. Didn't play a single offensive snap. Was benched thrice on special teams. And then last year came in and just was just beautiful. The way that he really stepped up in year 2. I think he takes a larger leap in year 3. Next up, winner of training camp preseason so far, number 3. Kicker Greg Joseph, Joseph ran off his kicking competition early on. Gabe Burkich going over to the Packers, who I think they just parted ways with him. But big-time leg, has made everything, has bombed kicks from 58 and 60 yards out in practice, just doing fantastic things where, the sting of losing Daniel Carlson and then watching him become an all-pro, it's a little bit less now that Greg Joseph is all up in the mix. Plus, I'm going to say, I think Greg Joseph is going to be a Pro Bowler from the NFC. Now, he obviously isn't going to play in the Pro Bowl or whatever the Pro Bowl is this year because the Vikings will be ready for the Super Bowl. But Joseph, this is going to come back to bite us in the ass. But I think the Vikings finally have solved the kicker situation. There you go. Next up, winner number 4, training camp preseason so far. Running back Ty Chandler, we're absolute superstar, rock star against the Raiders. 5 carries for 50 yards, 10 yards per carry, just making dudes miss and just getting hidden yardage is fantastic. Also had a big-time kick return. And you saw him where he does have the skills of an all-around back. He can pass block. He can receive. He can do things on special teams. He can run between the tackles, inside, outside, good in the outside zone scheme, where I think Ty Chandler, he was called Baby Alvin Kamara for a reason. I think the Vikings found themselves a gem in the 5th round pick, 169 overall. Speaking of draft gems, Ed Ingram. So when the Vikings took Ed Ingram early on day 2, there were some eyebrows raised because Ed Ingram had been projected as a 3rd, 4th round guy. But Ed Ingram's pass protection is his number one thing, and I think that given his anchor, also he's done really well run blocking through the first 2 preseason games. He showed well in the training camp practices, especially after he's been elevated to the ones. So I think Ed Ingram needs to start week 1 against the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers. I think Jesse Davis needs to become a swing backup guard tackle. Whatever, but Ed Ingram, he's earned his spot. He's earned his job. I think that frankly, he should sit out the Broncos preseason game because he's done enough. Keep him healthy for week 1. Next up, or lastly, winner number 6 from preseason training camp so far, linebacker Brian Asamoah. Now, I loved him coming out of Oklahoma. High energy guy, just flying around, making plays, and he's going to be the understudy for Kendricks and Jordan Hicks this season, but next year, if they don't resign Jordan Hicks, and who knows what happens with Kendricks, I think that Asamoah is going to start. I think that he has the frame to add some good weight, but not at the detriment of his speed. And he just gets after. He's got fantastic instincts. He just finds lanes to find the ball carrier, and he's just exciting, man. Vikings fans are used to seeing number 33 make big-time plays. Now they're going to see it on the other side of the ball, also on special teams. Because I think make Asamoah a punt gunner. I mean, screw the wide receivers and cornerbacks playing punt gunner. It's like when Everson, when they put him at punt gunner when he wasn't getting the time of day on defense, because he just loves the game, and Asamoah is a guy. I mean, if you're going to buy a Vikings jersey, I think about Brian Asamoah getting after it with 33, man. But that's it. Your thoughts on our thoughts. Take a look at 6 preseason training camp winners so far. And we didn't even include Lewisine and Andrew Booth and Caleb Evans, etc. That's how good some of these players have been. But let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull Production Value.